Hi everybody, we're in Las Palmas, here in the Canary Islands, and we're here for the ARC, the Atlantic Rally for Cruisers, and I've got Jeremy with me, who is from the World Cruising Association that staged the ARC. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about the history of the ARC.
ARC's been going since 1986, so we're into 33 years now, I think. It all kicked off back in the mid-80s. A gentleman called Jimmy Cornell was commissioned to write an article for Yachting World magazine. He came out to Las Palmas to interview cruisers about their preparations to the Atlantic, and he discovered that there was a lot of trepidation, a lot of fear about setting off across the Atlantic. And he came away with the idea that wouldn't it be great fun if everyone got together and sailed across the Atlantic as one group? Yeah. And that was really the genesis of the ARC. He went back, had a chat with Dick Johnson, who was then the editor of Yachting World magazine. Yachting World agreed to sponsor it, so the ARC was born from that. Registration was opened, and for the very first event they had 204 boats setting sail from Las Palmas.
And they sailed from Las Palmas, but they didn't actually go to St. Lucia.
No, in the first 3 years they went to Barbados, which is the shortest distance from the Canary Islands, and then in 1990 they switched destination to St. Lucia. A new marina had been built at Rodney Bay on the north end of St. Lucia, offered things like showers, toilets, walk ashore berths, things that modern cruisers take for granted now.
3 weeks at sea.
Yeah, but also on a practical nature, if you've got a longside berth, you can hose your boat down, you can clean your gear, all the sort of things you need to do. You get rid of the rubbish, not having to climb into a dinghy to do it was quite appealing for a lot of people.
And there isn't actually just the ARC. This actually splits into...
There's 3 ARCs now,
yeah. 3 ARCs.
It's grown over the years. 5-6 years ago, we actually launched ARC Plus Cape Verdes, which is a group that go 2 weeks ahead of the main fleet. They sail south of the Cape Verde Islands, they go into Mindelo and São Vicente, and they have between 3 and 5 days in Cape Verdes before they then set off to St. Lucia. And they're leaving Cape Verdes a couple of days before the main group are leaving here from Las Palmas. So they're then sailing a shorter distance from Cape Verde to St. Lucia. So they're mainly in St. Lucia when the first of the fast direct boats are coming in. So there's a bit of overlap at either end, but effectively it's 2 routes, and actually a third one now, because we've got limited space in the marinas. On the Cape Verde route, it's the restrictions in Mindelo. We've got another group going in the middle this year, which is ARC Plus St. Vincent. So they've gone a little bit behind the main group to Cape Verde, and then they'll be a little bit behind on the way across, and then they'll go into St. Vincent rather than St. Lucia.
Tell us, it's not all about socialising, is it? Quite a lot of it is about health and safety, looking after the boat, preparation.
Very much so. We put a lot of effort into sharing the knowledge, getting people in their boats ready. During 2 weeks here in Las Palmas, we have a big program of seminars, not so much teaching, but focusing on very practical things. So we've got one of the very popular seminars is about rigging, how to do a rig check, things to look forward to, how to look for, how to cope with ocean chafe, what it's like downwind sailing, how to set your rig up for downwind sailing, what happens if you get a problem, how to do emergency rig repair, all those kind of things that are very hands-on and practical. Provisioning seminars talking about how to store food in the tropics, how to rotate it, where the best shops are in Las Palmas for different things. Medical seminar is very much about what's in your med kit. Have you got the right things on there? Have you thought about drugs that go out of date? Have you thought about the kind of problems you might have on the way across? And then everyone troops down to the local pharmacist who's used to sailors coming in and saying, have you got one of these? So it's very much focused on practical information at this stage. We do a number of events in the course of the year in different places. We do one in Germany, one in the Netherlands, one in Norway, one in the UK, one in the US, where we have a weekend event, get everyone together, talking in more detail about choosing equipment for your boat, what you might want to have on to go.
And are they're separate? You don't have to be going on one of the ARC races, rallies?
They're for anyone who's interested in blue water sailing. And some are aimed at the event we do in Leamington in Berth and Boatyard in early June is very much, it's aimed at dreamers. It's if you think you might want to do blue water sailing, come along, look at blue water boats, meet blue water skippers, chat to them, bring your partner along, have a chat together, find out if it's really what is it going to be right for you. So we're talking to people there that are possibly going 8 years, they're in their retirement plan. 8 years away from going sailing. So there's a broad mix of people coming through at different places.
And you help all the skippers to bring their boat up to the required standard. And this is a standard laid out by yourselves.
No, we're based on the standards set by the Offshore Special Regs Committee of World Sailing. So they're the people that run the safety standards for things like the Fastnet race and Sydney Hobart. So we base ours on those standards. Some of the things like construction standards for race boats and things we don't apply, but we're looking very much at crew safety, boat safety. So you have to have an offshore standard life raft. There's a lot of confusion around life rafts. We don't allow people to cross with a coastal raft. You've got to have a proper double insulated bottom, self-inflating ocean specified raft. Every crew has to have a life jacket and a tether. You need to have a certain number of flares on board. You need to have wooden bungs for through-hull fittings, fire extinguishers, first aid kit.
Really, this does sound like all the things that you should have on your boat.
Yeah, but
really?
We do other things. We go on board, make sure your batteries are tied down.
Yeah.
Is your gimbal stove free to gimbal? Are there locks and catches on board the gimbals? Have you actually tied your life raft painter on to the boat when it's come back from the service? All those sort of things that are on the list, the checklist, but we physically go round and walk it through with the skipper. So it's very much
should make the skipper feel a lot more confident about the boat.
It's not a test,
No,
it's an inspection to help
yeah.
you get ready for the trip.
Yeah.
And the guys that we've got doing, the guys and girls that we've got doing the safety equipment inspections, they're all experienced ocean sailors. They're very much there to share the knowledge. And it's very much about educating people, really.
If something unforeseen does happen in the middle of the Atlantic or the middle of the Indian Ocean, how can you actually help as an organisation? The
key thing is we ensure that boats have got long-range communication on board that works. We actually test it to make sure their sat phone works, they can send an email. We put a satellite tracking device on board each boat so we know where they are and we know where all the other boats are. So a typical scenario might be someone has, say, a medical emergency on board and they've run out of sterile strips or bandages or something. We know where the nearest boat is, so we can get someone on another boat who's 40-50 miles away to rendezvous, hand over more dressings. That's the kind of thing that happens very much so. A Coast Guard can put a general message out to any vessel, but they don't necessarily know where the others are until they respond.
No, because it's too far away for AIS.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
And it's all wrapped up with some nice social events?
Yep, a lot of social events. There's kind of, if you like, two sides to this event. One is the safety and the preparation, and the other is the social, getting to know other cruisers, other sailors. And during this final week before departure, a lot of the crews are coming in, so the owners will have brought the boats down over the summer. We certainly recommend everyone gets to the Canaries by early October, but then their crews will fly in the last week before, so we'll see the numbers at the parties increasing dramatically as people hop off a plane from London and hop on the boat to cross the Atlantic.
Jeremy, thank you very much. What we're going to do is we are going to go and interview some skippers of yachts which have previously done the Ark, and also some new ones that haven't done the Ark. This is their first time.
Okay, so we are here with James on Kiwa, a beautiful catamaran, and he's going to cross the Atlantic with the Ark. So our first question would be, so why are you, because it's not the first time you're going with the Ark, right?
That's right, it's the third time.
Third time.
I think I always would do that. Like, first of all, we're in this marina when you can't normally get in here, and at this time of the year, and it's an excellent marina for provisioning, and it's not expensive. So it's great to be here because, you know, the big supermarkets deliver here and everything.
Yes,
sure, you could come.
Yes, all the facilities are very close by. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and that's a way to have a space in the marina as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because like we are at the anchorage outside.
Exactly, and you bring in so much stuff, even if it's just water. You know, it's like there's so many things. That's one of my partners on here at the moment. She's out getting things ready to come, but I think mostly it's a social thing, and it's not just about what's happening in this marina, because as soon as, like in my case, a pretty typical example, you're coming down from Europe or from England or from Ireland or somewhere, and you're flying your Ark flag, and people see you. So I started meeting people from Falmouth, all the way down through the Spanish-Portuguese coast, which is lovely, because they know you're in the Ark, so they come over and start talking, and then of that, at least 6 or 8 of these people, like all these boats that are here, so many of them with lovely families and things, they're all going on to.
So you start like sharing your experiences.
Yeah, and lots of social time, and just at restaurants or just casual dining on each other's boats or just for drinks, you know.
So we are here with Andrea from Field Trip on their beautiful catamaran, and it's the first time they're crossing the Atlantic. I would like to ask her what are the expectations about the crossing, the whole thing, what do you think is going to happen, how it's going to be?
Well, this is our longest passage, and as we started in Greece, we've had little passages along the way, and had little bits of experience along the way, and Gibraltar down to the Canaries is really just the first taste of what the Atlantic has been like, having big swells. Yeah, I know you can. I watched you, boy. I know you guys went through a lot, and I had tickets purchased, you know this, I think, from Malaga to Tenerife just in case. And I've heard a couple moms around here are having some backup plans like that too. They're doing flights, but I'm excited about going. I am, and it's funny. I think like about 5 or 6 day passages, I get really tired by the end, and I'm really ready to just sleep for a day and have normal sleep that's quiet and long, and that's all I want to do. Mm-hmm. So, but I think we'll get into a rhythm. I think there'll be bigger, longer swells, and hopefully it won't be so bad. I know there are going to be squalls. Yeah. And I remember some of the squalls we got into in Mediterranean, one that was 60 knots. So we've been through some scary stuff. Oh yeah, but short and close together. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that with a little more experience crossing, we'll be able to see with the radar, get around squalls, and I really hope there'll be wind. I hope there'll be wind going in the right direction.
So you're going with the Ark, right?
Yes.
So why did you guys choose going with the Ark? Because it was your first experience.
Yes.
So you didn't want to do by yourself.
Exactly, because we have monohull experience, but when we bought this boat, it was a dream, for the family to be able to go for a year. And we thought about it for long since before they were born. They're 11 and 13 now. Mm-hmm. And the reason we chose the Ark, having kids for one thing, was we were new to the catamaran from Greece. Mm-hmm. We started June 1st, and having absolutely no experience on this particular kind of boat, we wanted to make sure that we would be safe, and we felt safer in numbers. Mm-hmm. And they seem to have a lot of the seminars, a lot of the support. We've been.
And are you happy so far with?
We've been practicing with the sat phone and all those things since before we left. Just before we left, and now I'm catching up to the email. And the Ark's been really good. I don't know if I would do it again necessarily. I think. If you have enough people going, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll find out on the other end for sure.
So we're here just by the Sailors Bay, and I've met Anne, who is looking for a trip across the Atlantic on the Ark. And tell me, Anne, what is sailing experience have you had?
I have no sailing experience at all.
So you've made the decision that you want to get across the Atlantic?
Yeah.
And you're looking to crew on a boat?
Yes, I would like to hitchhike a boat.
You'd like to hitchhike a boat across, and many people do this?
Yeah, we are something like 20 people looking for a boat.
And you haven't found one yet? You may have found one?
I've met some captains, but I haven't found one yet. But I will find one next days.
And do you spend your life travelling?
Yes, I started traveling 1 year and a half ago. So.
And you've been through Europe?
I've been traveling only in Europe, so now I start something bigger.
Are you apprehensive about this trip across the Atlantic?
No, I'm excited about sailing. I want to sail.
We're now on Glory, which is a rather beautiful lagoon. 420, or is it a 42? Do they call it a 42?
They call this one the 42.
42. Lagoon 42, and it's the day before the Ark goes, so we're here to find out what the crew think and whether they're apprehensive or excited. Okay, so tell us, you're off on the Ark tomorrow. Really excited or apprehensive and nervous?
Can we be both?
Yeah, it's both.
What do you think, guys? Steve?
Absolutely excited.
You're really
I've been
excited?
thinking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
And
Is this a dream for you?
Funnily enough, no. My dad was a big sailor,
Yeah.
and I get motion sick. So I wasn't on the top of my list, but Glenn mentioned it,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, it just sounds incredible.
And Glenn, do you feel that the boat's ready for the challenge ahead?
Yeah, I think I crossed the last item off my list today, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm sure I will lie awake all night thinking about silly little things that I didn't do. Well, hopefully I won't, but
So you'll be at the start line tomorrow for...
we're ready to go. I'm both apprehensive and excited.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm quietly thinking about the arrival in St. Lucia and how I'm going to feel. So
What's the first thing you're going to do?
grab my wife, who will be hopefully standing on the dock.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And why did you choose to do this crossing? This is your first Atlantic crossing, isn't it?
It's
But
yeah.
Why did you choose to do it with the Ark?
Because I didn't have the experience. This has been a lifelong dream of mine to sail across an ocean, and maybe around the world. And so when I decided I was going to buy a Lagoon 42, it was a question of, paying the freight or delivering it myself. Having gone through the last 3 months of endless chores and provisioning, I think I should have paid the freight. But here I am, about to cross the line tomorrow, so I'm feeling pretty excited about that.
And Will, how are you feeling?
The same, pretty much. There's a lot of hard work this last 6 days preparing and.
Yeah. And have
getting
you
things done.
done any of these big crossings before? 'Cause you're a
No-
yachtsmaster, aren't you?
I am. So Natasha and I are in our 3-year planning phase for we retire. Looking at the catamaran monohull argument.
Mark, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a bit of an adrenaline rush right now.
Yeah.
Super excited. This is a bucket list thing for me.
Is it really?
It has been for a long time.
Yeah.
And I never had the opportunity to jump at it because it's one of those big daunting things that you want to do, but you don't know how to take a first leap into it. So when Glenn came up to me and with the first approach, the invitation, I think I jumped on it before you finished your sentence.
Yes, you did.
So it's been taking a lot of mental prep, obviously physical prep around the boat, and anticipating what to expect on the boat and just advanced prepping for that too. So that takes a lot of mental energy to do that, and it fatigues you. So we're looking to rest up the day before.
We wish you the best of luck. We wish we were coming with you actually, because we've got to wait another 4 weeks, 5 weeks, haven't we, before we'll be departing. But wish you the best of luck and hope to see that you get line honours along the way somewhere.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you. Well, and I hope we get to have a sundowner together when you get to the other side.
Certainly will.
That'd be my pleasure.
Oh,
Yeah,
great. I look forward to it.
Yeah, great. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. So we had a big thing with the Ark on this video.
We certainly did. We really quite enjoyed it actually, going around talking to people, and now we're following them on their crossing, which is rather fun.
Which is fun, we can see where they are. And so now we're going to answer our question, which is why we didn't go with the Ark.
Now that's okay. So the first answer is that Christmas has got in the way. Now, that sounds silly, doesn't it? But you either kind of go before Christmas and arrive before Christmas, so you have Christmas in the Caribbean, or you go after Christmas and spend Christmas here. Now, I know that sounds simple, but the problem is that if you go when the Ark goes and get there for Christmas, the winds are not quite as good as they could be. And even Jeremy said that it's too early in the season.
It's too early in the season.
It's too early in the trade wind season. So the winds are coming down this coast of Morocco, and then they turn slightly and take you across the Caribbean. And at this point in the year, you may get, say, 6 days of calm weather without enough wind to take you. And also, it still isn't settled. It comes in various different directions. If you leave it till end of December, January time, you probably get, on average, 1 day of calm weather in a month, and the wind is blowing, say, 25 knots all the way.
And has we been following them on the route, so we can see all of that.
They had headwinds at one time.
Yeah, they had headwinds. They had no wind. They kind of having everything.
Yeah, I think even actually the ARC organisation would prefer it to go later in the season. But quite honestly, people just want to get there for Christmas.
Yeah, they really want to get there for Christmas.
Yeah, so we're not in any rush.
No.
Downside of going later, of course, is that you only get to spend 3 or 4 months in the Caribbean. So we'll only be there for February, March, April and May. And then we have to leave because of the hurricane season.
But it's not a problem for us because we decided to stay another season in the Caribbean. So it's not going to be a problem anyway.
So we'll go down to Grenada, Tobago,
ABC Islands,
that sort of area, and then we'll come back again in November.
Yes,
for another season, and hopefully that year, which will be 2020, we'll be able to get up to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Which we really want to do.
Yeah, we really want to do that. Yes.
Yeah. So this season we're hopefully going to get up as far as the British Virgin Islands. That's our aim. Yeah. And then come back down and do the Grenadines on the way down.
Yes.
Because that's closer to the 13th parallel. How about that? That sounds sophisticated, doesn't it?
So yeah, so like this we're going to have the choice to go back to the UK for Christmas.
We are,
spend with family.
You can see your daughters.
Yes, I can see my daughters. And
another interesting thing, actually, because all the boats on the Ark have a pinger on, so that it's on the website and you can follow them. One of the yachts which we got to know was a Lagoon 400, which is called White Pearl. And the other one, as you probably know, is Dobry Danny, our Canadian friends.
Yeah, our friends.
Which is a 45-foot, I think, monohull. But currently, the position is that
White Pearl has been at the front
all the way
across. He's still ahead, like a day ahead of the other ones.
Yeah.
And Dobro Danny is position 14, and they are 15 on that crossing.
Yeah. But it's quite interesting how the cat has just sped ahead.
Yes, all the cats are at the front.
In the downwind sailing, the cats have just gone.
All the cats are at the front line. Yes, it's three cats on that one, and they all at the.
And White Pearl yesterday did 198 nautical miles.
No, 192.
192 nautical miles, nearly 200 nautical miles in a day.
That's gosh. I hope we can do that.
Yeah. So that's our plan.
Yes, and that's our reasons not to go with the Ark.
It's as simple as that.
Yes.
Really. It's just going too early in the season.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope.
Yeah. There we go. So here we are in beautiful Las Palmas Marina still.
Yes, it's going to be a warm day today.
It's going to be a nice day today, and today we are doing sail maintenance.
Sail maintenance, yes. We are doing the services on everything, so we can leave the boat ready before we go to the UK.
Yep.
And when we come back, we just leave, like a day or two for provisioning.
Yep. Scrub the bottom. We're going to scrub our bottom before we go.
Yeah. And then just go.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you very much for following us.
Yep.
Just please subscribe.
You can now follow us on
No Foreign Lands.
No Foreign Lands.
On our website, you have a map where it shows where we are.
Yep.
Even on the crossing, you're going to be able to see us going.
Via the old satellite, you'll be able to follow us. So that's either at www.sailingoceanfox.com or that is being powered by the website noforeignlands.com.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it's great.
Okay, see you next week.
Thank you very much. Bye.